So, can you make cold calls with Go High Level? The answer to that question is absolutely yes, you can if you have the right workflow in place. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set that up. And we're just going to chat about cold calls, so stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Scott with Power 360 Media here, and today we're talking about cold calls and using High Level as a cold call solution. Not a lot of people know you can do that. Not a lot of people know that you can set this up, but if you have the right workflow set up, it can really be efficient, an efficient tool for doing cold calls very effectively. So let's just chat about cold calls in general. You know, why do people hate doing cold calls so much? I've always said if you're an agency and you're looking to get customers, or you know, really any business and you're looking to get customers, I still feel that cold calling is one of the best ways to, especially for B2B sales, you know, getting in touch with other businesses. A lot of it has to do with your opening line and just being upfront about it. And so if I were to only have one avenue to go out and get 10 customers in the next 30 to 45 days, I would be cold calling. I'd be doing 50, 100, 150 cold calls a day. And keep in mind, the goal of the cold call is not to sell on the call necessarily. The goal of the cold call is to get an appointment booked. And so I will always use something of the lines of, hey, I know you're busy. We ask some qualifying questions just to gauge interest in your product. And if there's some interest, I switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to say something to the effect of, hey, I know you're busy and I'm actually just running out the door. Why don't we do this? Sounds like it'd be worth your time to spend 15 minutes learning about this. What's your schedule like tomorrow? And you know, we'll get something booked where we actually do a Zoom demo. That way, you know, you're kind of opening the door and you're getting permission then to actually share your product, rather than trying to jam it down their throat right there on the cold call. Well, they might be busy with a customer, they might be, you know, busy doing something in their business. So the goal of the cold call is to spend 2 to 3 minutes on the call, and with that in mind, you can do 50, 100 calls in 4 hours. And so, you know, you time block it out, you commit to it, you get over the mindset of you know, the negativity. You're going to get some. You don't know them, they don't know you. Just, you know, let it go. I mean, I really think that's the main reason people don't do cold calls, is it's the fear of rejection. You do 10, 15, 20 of them, and you just get used to it. You know, it's not a big deal, and it's really all in your mind. So don't worry about what those other people are going to think of you. They're never going to see you. They're never going to know you again. They don't know your information. They don't know where you live. So, you know, what's the worst that can happen? So now, I know it's easier said than done. I'm playing it off as though it's easy, but what is your commitment level? You know, how bad do you want it? Because cold calling works. It absolutely works. It's one of the best ways to get customers very, very quickly. We're going to go through, I've got some scripts and things that I can share with you. But I think you're really going to dig this. So enough of that. You guys get the idea. By the way, please like and subscribe the page, especially if you get some value out of this. We'd love to hear from you. Leave us a comment. All right, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so this is my version. This is called Power. My company's Power 360. This is my version of Go High Level. We call it P360. And so I'll start out with showing you the pipeline. So the first step, we're going to upload, and I'm going to go through all of this here. We're going to upload some prospects into the pipeline, and then what we do is we move those prospects, those opportunities, over to the stage where it's today's call. So you might move 10 over, 50 over, 100 over. But when you move it to this stage, it's going to launch a workflow, and we'll get into that in a second. But I just for now wanted to show you the pipeline. So, okay, we're going to put 10 people in today's call, and that's your to-do list for the day. And then there's a series of outcomes. How does the call go? If there's no answer, I'm going to select something. When we take a look at the contacts here, there's a drop down, a cold call result or a cold call outcome drop down list, and we're going to select no answer, interested. Maybe they want to see a video link. You can see interested, follow up in 1 week. Just kind of go down the line here. We've got some emails and text messages that are going out. If they reply to one of those, it's going to populate into this stage. If we get a demo booked, it's going to pop here. If they click on the trigger link that we created and they attend the demo, it's going to move the opportunity over to here. If they miss a call and we select them in the as a no-show in the appointment side of it in the calendar, it's going to move them automatically over here to the demo missed, and it's going to automatically fire off a trigger to send them a reschedule link. If we made an offer and they're not quite ready yet, we've got a series of 10 emails that follows up with them once every 7 days. And if there's a bad phone number, it's going to drop them over to here. Now, I kind of hesitated on this because if it's a bad phone number, you got a couple of options. You can just move on, or I wanted to build up the ones that had bad phone numbers here. And then maybe on a day you can hire a VA to go through and research all those contacts and see if they can find a better phone number. So that is the pipeline. Let's see. I'm going to go over here into the automations now, and I'll kind of walk you through this. We're calling this a turbo dialer. So we got a series of automations in this. The first one, and this is going to be a little in depth, you guys. So buckle up, take some notes, take some screenshots if you want. And by the way, if you guys want this, this is if you've ever built out an extensive workflow, you know how time consuming it can be. If you guys are considering using high level and you like the idea of cold calling, you like the idea of getting a lot of customers very quickly, I'm going to put a link down below. I've got some really good training on cold calling. Happy to help you guys with that, give you some of the scripts and whatnot. But if you want to try a 14-day trial of Go High Level, I'll put the link down below and go ahead and click on that. And then you and I can get on an onboarding call and, kind of discuss what your goals are, what your niches are, and I'll help you craft. I did sales training and coaching for businesses for about 10 years. So got some good things I can share with you if that is something that you are interested in. Okay, so this first one here is, if you remember the stages, the pipeline stages that we're into. I know I'm jumping back and forth here, but this is a lot to go over. So when you drop them into today's call, so first of all, we're going to upload the prospects. Then when you drop them into today's call, what's going to happen is going to fire off a couple of things here on this very first workflow. Okay, so turbo dialer 01 here. This is the one that kicks everything off. So the pipeline stage, they're going to get dropped into today's call stage of the pipeline. Next thing it's going to do, it's going to create a note automatically into the contacts records. And I have this here because I like to have this in front of me when I'm on the phone with somebody. So I've got, an opening where I build, just quick rapport, you guys. Don't feel like you have to be their best friend. I'll start out like, hey, appreciate your time. Hey, where you calling from? Okay, great. They usually ask me where I'm from. And then I pre-frame the call. So we got about 30 minutes here booked off. If you do have some additional questions, we can take a few minutes to answer those. But really what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to ask some questions and try and learn what I can about your business. And at the end of it, you can ask me some questions, what questions you may have about our software. And other than that, pretty straightforward. Does that sound good to you? Okay, great. And then so I just asked some questions. So tell me a little bit about what motivated you to get on the call today. Tell me about your business. We just got some questions here that I go through. And the other thing too is, remember, when it comes to selling stuff, we just try and stay away from the techno babble. On a call like this, you should be talking, 20 to 30% of the time, asking questions, learning, back to the Dale Carnegie school of thought. It's being genuinely interested in the other people. So pay attention to your tone of voice, pay attention to the pace that you're speaking, all of those kind of things. So it's going to create a note for you. It's going to assign to a particular user, which I've got it assigned to me. It's going to add a tag that they've gone into the turbo dialer system, and then it's going to leave a manual call, an action to a manual call here. Okay, so that fires off the system. So we're going to dump, our 50 people in here or whatever. So now we've got some other things here depending on the outcome of it. So if we make a phone call and there is no answer, which is oftentimes the case, there's a statistic out there that 65% of businesses, small businesses, incoming phone calls go unanswered. And boy, if that's not a good sales point, I don't know what is, because when a business, and one of the things I'm pushing here is some sort of a an AI voice agent that's going to answer phones for small businesses. I was a general contractor for 20 years, so I know how it is. You get out there, you're busy, you're working on the job, you can't answer every phone call, but when you miss a phone call, you're missing out on revenue. So that's a great point. We have a great solution to solve that with our voice AI. Okay, so but if they don't answer, rather than take the time for me to, because I want to bang through these calls as quick as I can, like it's go time. So rather than leave a voicemail myself, what I'll do is in the system, I'll just click the box, no answer. And when that happens, it moves them to this workflow, which first thing it does is it removes them from the other workflow. It updates the opportunity, puts them in the pipeline stage, no answer, launch workflow, adds a tag, cold call, no answer, and then leaves a voicemail drop. Okay, and my computer's running slow here. Hey there, my name's Scott. Sorry I missed you. Interestingly enough, though, that's why I'm calling. Full transparency, this is a cold call, but I think you might find it kind of interesting. Okay, so you notice how I mean, full transparency, this is a cold call. I'm a big believer in just laying it right out there. And if you can say something I've got 6 or 7 intros that I'll kind of jostle around. Most of them have some sort of like upfront permission-based statement, letting them know that this is a cold call. But if you can throw some kind of a funny thing in there, you got 30 seconds before you make the decision to hang up on me or not, to hear about what I'm calling about, something like that is always a good idea. So we've got a generic voicemail here. It doesn't say anything about their business or anything, just says my first name. Okay. And I just tell them a little bit about it. And the goal is just to try and get them to call back. It leaves a tag that we've left a voicemail drop, and then it waits 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes, it's going to send a very simple text message. Hey there, just left you a VM. Do you have the bandwidth to take on more customers? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then it's going to wait for a response. So it waits for a contact to reply. So if they reply to this SMS message, we've got a branch here where if their intent is positive, it's going to update the opportunity into the replied SMS. Let me see. Do I still have that up? Yeah, it's going to update them and drop them into this replied SMS stage of the pipeline. It's going to update the contact field that they're interested in, that they replied via SMS or email. It's going to add a tag that says they're interested, and it's going to create a task for me to, which will show up in the manual actions. It's going to create a task for me to follow up with them ASAP. Now, if they reply back and tell me to take a hike, then a negative intent, it's going to set the opportunity as abandoned. It's going to update the contact field as not interested and remove. It's going to remove the opportunity from the workflow and remove them from all workflows. Now, we could D&D here, but I feel like I don't want to do that. D&D means that we will never, ever send them anything again. In the rare event that they do maybe change their mind from one of our emails or something later on, I don't want to have that D&D, do not disturb, enabled. So we'll just leave them there, and we use tags to say that they're not interested at this time. Okay, so that's what happens if they do not reply to the SMS text and they do not reply to the voicemail. Then we're going to go down here, and 1 day later, we're going to drop voicemail number 2 that says something to the effect of, hey, I gave you a call and shot you a text yesterday. I didn't hear back. I'd really love to speak to you about this. It's going to wait 2 minutes. And last time we sent a text message, now we're going to hit them with an email. We're trying to hit them with multiple mediums here. So, and it's, again, just a general email. The content of the email is not necessarily the reason for this. It's more just showing you the foundation of the workflow itself. And then the same thing happens. If they reply, if it's positive, it takes them down this road. If it's negative, it takes them down this road. If they don't reply again, I'm going to hit them one more time with an email. Now, my philosophy on this is I want to talk to as many people as I can. And I know this is controversial. Controversial. But a lot of people say you got to hit them 7 times. That's cool. If you want to do that, that's great. I try and hit them 2 or 3 times. If I don't get a response, I'm on to the next thing, and again, you can dispute that. That's fine. Different strokes for different folks. Okay. So that's that's what happens if there is no answer. And again, I like the idea of the voicemail drop, and it drops immediately after I get off the call, because I just, I don't want to take the time to sit there and leave a voicemail every single time, because that can take additional time. I can get through more calls faster by not having to do that. Okay. So the next opportunity is I get on the phone with them and they're just flat not interested. So we've got a workflow from that. As soon as we change the cold call outcome to not interested, remove, that triggers off the workflow. It adds a tag not interested. It creates an opportunity and it abandons the opportunity. It removes them from the workflow and removes them from the opportunity pipeline. The next outcome that can happen is they're interested, but maybe they're busy. So in this workflow, we have a trigger. The cold call outcome is interested, follow up in 1 week. This is a very simple one. It moves them to the interested follow up pipeline stage. It adds a task and tells us to follow up with this contact, and this is due in 5 days. Need to save that. And then it's going to add a tag that they're interested. Okay, so we saved that one. Whoops. Let me save that real quick. I made a quick modification. Okay, the next possible outcome that could happen is send a video link. So I'll get that a lot where, you know what, hey, can you just send me something? I don't have the time to talk right now. Can you just send me something? So this one's a little bit more involved. So when we change that cold call outcome to interested, send video link, it's going to then add another tag, sent SmartBook video link. Now SmartBook is my booking system that we use, that I created in Go High Level, and it's an AI agent, basically what it is. And it's got some other things in there, but that's the purpose of this. So you would obviously change some of these tags if you want to have this. It's going to send an email. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Here's the demo. Watch our SmartBook demo here. And then it's going to wait for a response. It's going to wait 1 day. Kind of the same thing here. If they click the link to watch the video, so this is a trigger link. We have set up a trigger link. When they click that link in the email, it's going to wait for 15 minutes. My video is only about 5 minutes long, so I figure if I wait 15 minutes, it's going to email them 10 minutes after they get done watching the video. Assume they watch the whole thing. It's going to send an email, and the email is, hey, what'd you think of the SmartBook demo? And then it's going to wait for a response for 1 day. If they reply and the reply is positive, it's going to send them down this path. It's going to move them to the proper stage of the pipeline. It's going to add tasks and do all that kind of stuff. If it's no, not for me, then we're going to remove them from the workflow. We're going to remove the opportunity. So you'll see a pattern here of when the text messages and emails go out. If there's a positive reply, we go here. If there's a negative reply, we go here. Let's see. If they do not respond or do not click the trigger link, I'm going to send out email number 2. Hey, dummy, why didn't you look at the video? Obviously, it doesn't say that. And then we're going to wait, kind of the same thing. Condition, positive reply, negative reply. And then now you could always add more to this. So again, if you want to follow up 7 times with them, really simple. You just take this and you'd copy. Let's see, where would you start copying from? I think you'd copy from here. You just copy all actions from here, and then you'd go down here and you'd paste them right here. And you can do that, 5 more times if you want, and obviously change the emails, switch one of them over to a text message, so you're hitting them with multiple different things. But that's the send the video link. What else do we got here? Appointment confirmation. So when if I'm on a call with them, I prefer to book the appointment right there on the call. Sure. I'd be interested in looking at this. All right. Wendy, are you available? We got time Thursday or Friday. What works best for you, mornings or evenings? So, you do that whole thing, and but I'll book it right there rather than send them a link. And then I always will follow up, any reason, Joe, why you might miss this appointment. Okay, cool. Because you get them to kind of double confirm verbally will help your show up rate. And this workflow right here will also help your show up rate. So when they book an appointment, you've got to select your calendar. And again, I'm talking about my SmartBook demo calendar here. So when they book an appointment on that calendar, we are going to go to assign to user. It's going to assign it to the user. It's going to leave my note in there so I can have some notes when I'm actually on the demo call. It's going to add a tag, SmartBook demo scheduled. It's going to move them to the SmartBook demo booked stage of the pipeline. It's going to wait for 1 minute, and then it's going to send me an internal notification. So these internal notifications, I work off of these a lot. You've got SMS, you can do SMS internal notifications, you can do email notifications, and you can do notifications on the app. I prefer text messages myself because I always answer text messages. So if I get somebody that books a call, I want an SMS notification to myself saying, hey, Scott, you got a SmartBook demo booked. Here's the person's name. Here's the appointment date. Here's all of that stuff. I also want to send an email notification to myself. I'm a stickler for making sure I'm on these appointments. And then it's going to send a confirmation email to the contact saying, hey, your appointment's booked. It's going to wait for 5 minutes, and it's going to send an SMS to the contact saying, hey, I just saw you booked an appointment. Cool. Look forward to talking to you. And then 24 hours before the appointment, it's going to send the contact a reminder email. 1 hour before the appointment, it's going to send me an internal notification so I don't miss it. And then it's going to send the contact a reminder email with the Zoom link and a 1 hour SMS message with the Zoom link. And then 5 minutes before, it's going to repeat this, hey, our meeting's starting in 5 minutes. Okay. So that's the appointment booked workflow, pretty basic appointment booking workflow. If it's a bad number, we just have a real simple workflow here. If I select bad number, it's just going to add a tag bad number, and it's going to move the opportunity to bad phone number stage in the pipeline, as we've talked about earlier. And next we have got the demo attended. So the demo attended pipeline, once they click that trigger link in the emails and in the text messages, it's going to automatically move them to, yes, they attended the demo. I suppose there could be a case where they'd click that trigger link and then decide not to go on the demo, but more times than not, when they click the trigger link to your Zoom link, that means they're going to be on the demo call. And then it adds a tag, SmartBook demo attended. And we're getting close here. No show. So if in the calendar we mark that person as a no-show, that's what triggers this workflow. It's going to add the tag no-show. It's going to update the opportunity that they missed the demo. It's going to wait for 1 hour, and then it's going to send the reschedule email. Hey, sorry, we missed you. Let's reschedule. And then it's got a link to your calendar there. And then last but certainly not least is the long-term follow-up. So what we've got here is, there's times where you meet with somebody and yeah, this is really cool. But yeah, I'm not really ready right now. Why don't you get back to me? So we're manually going to move them into, so if we're on the call or we're looking at one of their opportunity cards, we're manually going to select them that, yes, we pitched them, we made the offer, they're not ready, and we're manually going to move them in here. And when we this is one of the only things that one of the only times we have to manually move someone to a different stage in the pipeline. But when we do that, it's going to spark off a series of, I believe it's 10 emails. Yeah. So it waits for 1 day, sends an email, waits 7 days, send email number 2, number 3, number 4. And you'd obviously want to rewrite these emails. I use ChatGPT for writing most of the emails. You just tell them what your intent is and what you're trying to do here, and have it write you 10 emails and copy and paste them in here, and you're good to go. So let's do this. Let me show you how to launch this whole thing. I know this video is getting kind of long here. I'm going to go to my contacts and I'm going to hit import contacts. So what I've done is I've created just a fake spreadsheet with fake names and addresses and everything. I'm going to upload that spreadsheet. What did I call it? I believe I even called it fake. Yes, fake home service data. Okay, I'm going to hit next. So this is how you upload a list. And incidentally, I use Outscraper. I'm going to open that up real quick. Platform. So it's app.outscraper.com. And I use this a lot to get, lists of, again, B2B companies. So you can research, roofers, you can research attorneys, whatever, and it'll scrape Google Maps, and it will give you phone numbers, emails, websites, how many Google reviews they have. Outscraper is a fantastic tool to use. I must be logged into a different account here because I know I have some tasks running right now. Yeah, there they are. Okay, so you can see here, garage door companies, roofing contractors, law firms. So I've got one running right now for garage door companies. But you can get, you can do small lists, very cost effective, and you can tell it what data it will verify the email addresses, company names, how big they are, estimated revenue. I mean, it's just amazing the amount of information you can get from here. So let's say we did that. We got our list of, home service, whatever companies here. So now I'm back to our software here where we're uploading the names. So company name. So you've got to match the fields here. This one looks like these are all matched. Now, when you do Outscraper, you could potentially have 30, 40 columns of or more. Geez, I've downloaded lists of 14,000 people. And one little tip here too, you guys, using ChatGPT. So I downloaded a list of 14,000. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you. And a lot of times the names were the company names. I don't always have the owner's name. So I'll generally send the emails and the text messages to ABC Plumbing Company. Because you don't always have their first name and last name. But sometimes the names would be ABC Plumbing LLC or ABC Plumbing, best plumbing contractor in Seattle. It would have these other things added onto it because that's what they've created in their Google profile, their Google My Business profile, because that's all it does. It's pulling the names from Google My Business. So I had 14,000 names, and I bet 2 or 3,000 of those names had additional stuff rather than just their company name. So one tip that you can do is go into ChatGPT and tell it, upload the spreadsheet as an Excel file or a CSV file. And then you go in there and you tell it the company names are in column A. And I want you to go through every single company name in column A and look for Incorporated, LLC, best contractor. You can tell it what to look for and tell it your goal is to just come up with a nice, clean company name. And it will actually go through, and it did it in about 2 minutes. And it blew my mind because I've taken those spreadsheets before and I've manually gone through and fixed all those names. And it is time consuming and your head hurts, your eyes hurt. Utilize ChatGPT to clean up your spreadsheets. Huge time saver. Okay. So sorry for the, back to the regularly scheduled programming here. So here we are. We're going to upload. Now I'm going to do advanced here because I want to create a tag. So I'm just going to call it a tag sample import. Okay. And I'm going to hit submit. Okay. So now you can see I've got my 10 sample contacts in here. Now, YouTube, if you're listening, these are fake emails. These are fake contacts. Some of my videos have been tagged because of YouTube thought that I was sharing, some people's actual information here. All these are fictitious people, fictitious emails. So please don't block my video or delete my video. Okay, so we've got our 10 people here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add them to our pipeline. So we're going to use our SmartBook pipeline, and I'm just going to go ahead and dump them right into today's calls. And then you can give it an opportunity name, opportunity sources, Outscraper, lead value. You can add that in there. Opportunity status, I'm going to set to open, and then give it an action name. I'm just gonna put demo here. But generally, in an action name, I'll date it and I'll say, roofing contractor opportunity creation, and I'll put a date in there for the action. But for now, I'm just going to do that. Okay, so that's how we get our opportunities into our workflow. Now, when we go to our opportunities tab, we will see. Here are my 10 phone calls that I need to make today. Okay. You can also dump, let's say you wanted to dump 5,000 names under prospects. You could dump all 5,000 of those names under prospects, and then you could go into the contacts and you could filter and you could select 50 of them. So you could filter by, every time I'll upload like a roofing company, I'll put a tag in there like roofing company, dentist, whatever. So you could go and you could select in your contacts, you could select and bulk upload all 5,000 of them into prospects. And then you could maybe just select 50 of them in contacts and move them over to today's call. So the idea here is every day you're doing 50 calls, 100 calls, 20 calls, 5 calls, whatever your goal is. Okay. So now by dumping them into this today's call, it fired off a workflow. So now how we're going to do this, I'm going to go into conversations tab and I'm going to go up in here to manual actions. We got to make sure the right workflow is selected here. Okay, so you can see here, I've got all my manual actions here and we've got our 10 leads in here. And basically all you do is hit let's start. And I typically will put headphones on this, but I'm going to hit let's start and you can see it takes me right to the contact and you can see it's dialing up here. Now I'm going to hang up just because I don't know that those numbers aren't real numbers. And then I'm going to hit complete here. So that's how we have this set up, is just go ahead and hit complete rather than clicking on one of these. So I'm going to hit complete. And you can pause this at any time, by the way, because you can see it's getting ready to move to the next lead. So I can pause this. And then what I wanted to show you was over here under cold call. Here is my cold call outcomes. So I can hit bad number, remove, and then I can hit save. And then it's going to launch that bad number workflow. The other thing I wanted to show you here is up in the notes section is that it automatically put my note in here. So I've got kind of my script here that I can fill out as I go. And then once you're done with that and you select the outcome, I'm just going to hit resume and I'm going to go to the next lead. It's going to pull up the next lead. I open up their note and you can see it's dialing right now. Once again, I'm going to hang up. I'm going to hit complete. I'm going to go over here to cold call outcome. No answer, launch workflow, and then save. So you can see how you can very quickly get through these. Really cool system. I've used other cold calling programs before. This is very efficient. You can get through a lot of calls very quickly, especially with the voicemail drop feature that we've put in there. So anyway, I hope you found that helpful. I know that was a lot of stuff. I know that was a lot to go through very quickly. If you'd like to get this and you're interested in testing out Go High Level yourself, we do offer a free trial. I'm going to put the link in the description down below. And we could have an onboarding call and just find out what you're doing. If you're an agency, if you're a business, I use this in my own business. You can use it in really any type of business to really very quickly bring in a very good source of leads. And this is scalable too, because once you get your script down and your system down, you can train somebody on your script to do cold calls for you. And that's even better. That way you don't have to do it. So anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye.